a tēnā tātou. Ka topa, ka tio, kei ngā tihi o tōku maunga ko ruahine. Ka tītiro whakararo ki te tāpiri o Pātunga. Rere ana ko ngā wai e mānea, e taku ūkaipō, ko waipāwa, ko mangamate, ko mākāroro, ka manga ōnuku, e rere ana ki tuki, ki te ākau o te ika Māui, e haruru nei i te ao, i te pō. Tēnei ka mihi atu ki a koutou, ko Pekepo tēnei, he uri tēnei no ngai te pātui āpiti ngā tivara. E tika ana e mihi ana ki ngā pau, ngaio, shade mā, ngā kaimahi o Kahungunu, koutou e whakarite, e whakarangatira ana i tēnei huihuinga. Koutou anō hoki ngā uri o Kahungunu, e tai mai ki te āta whakarongo ki ēnei iānanga me ki, hei whai oranga mo tō tātou whānau, o tātou hapū, o tō tātou marae, tēnei ka mihi atu. Ka mihi ki ngā mate. Koutou, kua whakahui tia e matariki. Kia piria, kia pohutukawa, koutou ngā mate, haere, haere atura. Tuia ki te rangi, tuia ki te whenua, tuia ki te moana, ka rongo te pō, ka rongo te ao, a tihei mauri ora. Che whānau, so I got the 11th hour call from the old auntie and asked if I could do a bit of a presentation on behalf of our Taiwhenua. So the last 36 hours have been spent with Uncle Brian Morris and Uncle Johnny Apatu, and if you can imagine, it's like having a yānanga with rongo and two. And so, trying to, that's like in the last 36 hours, probably 20 hours of that has been in Yānanga, and trying to compact that into 20 minutes has been quite a task. Heoi, I guess in terms of contextualising the presentation that on behalf of our Taiwhenua and what we're going to be doing today is probably a lot different. But firstly, I do want to give a mihi to the presenters before me. Uncle Mare, you're always a breath of fresh energy. It's people like us that you inspire to be more actively involved, especially when it comes to our taiao. Ko ia te tuakana. If we aren't able to interpret these tohu of our taiao, how can we find a way forward for the oranga of our people? But I'm going to do a bit of an activity, whānau, and this activity encourages us to shine the light wider and picture our place in our long chain of whakapapa. The living and the unborn. However, at times it may be difficult to absorb such thinking in our lives, since Western culture has been so devastatingly successful at severing a deep sense of intergenerational connection. We have at times been cut off from our tupuna, from our uri whakaheke. We are so caught up with living in the present, caught in the short, or the work deadlines and instant messaging, that the idea of being just one link in a vast chain of humanity that stretches through cosmological time might feel hard to grasp. Our individualistic culture of self-help and looking after number one makes it even more challenging. The result is the present tense. If we think of leaving a legacy at all, it is generally limited to just 1 or 2 generations from today. With imagination, however, we can find ways of reconnecting with the power of our whakapapa. And sorry, I've got my DJ over here because I didn't want to whakahoha the brothers over there because I was a bit late. And I had to give it's like giving a late assignment, my presentation, and that was a bit hoha, so I thought I'd be a bit proactive and bring my own speaker because I can't sing. Didn't get blessed with those genes. Now, whānau, I want you to close your eyes. Usually we would stand in this activity, but I need you, but health and safety risks, so I need you to close your eyes, and I need you to conjure yourself up in this space and time. I am a seed born from greatness. E kore au e ngaro, he kākano I ruia mai I Rangiatea. I shall never be lost, a seed scattered from Rangiatea. You see yourself standing within existence of our species and the earth we dwell on. I want you to take a moment to reflect who you are and where you are at this moment. Every part of you is intricately woven together by the fabric of your ancestors. Their blood, their experiences, their pains, their joys, all encoded in our DNA. You are born of greatness. I want you to take a step back and visualize your whakapapa line. I want you to envision the cord that connects you to your ancestors, your iho matua. Envision that line and stretch it to an ancestor you would like to connect to. Ha ki roto, ha ki waho. He or she appears before you. You take in this profound appearance, their stance, their facials, their emotions, their surroundings. What is the feeling that reaches you at this moment? As you inhale, they breathe a white light of wisdom into you. As you exhale, you breathe the white light of gratitude in return. Ha ki roto, ha ki waho. I want you to take a step forward to return to your standing point. Take this moment to reflect and honor the wisdom you possess inside. Now take a step forward and visualize your descendants. Envision the cord that connects you to them. Imagine that line and stretch it to a mokopuna you would like to connect to. He or she appears. You take in this profound appearance before you, their stance, their facials, their emotions, their surroundings. What is the state of the world they live in? As they inhale, you breathe a white light of wisdom into them. As they exhale, they breathe the white light of gratitude in return. Ha ki roto, ha ki waho. I want you to take a moment, whānau, and think about what wisdom was shared in this moment. And when we think about being a good ancestor, and we talk about mokopuna decisions, we really need to connect back to our ancestors, which are our taiao. On behalf of our Taiwhenua, we come up with all these yānanga that we've had. We come up with the analogy of ruahine. And I want to share, so yesterday between Wellington or Waifetu and Kahungunu, I wrote a little story because this gives context in terms of our position statement as Tamatea. Ruahine, the wise kuia, the guardian and backbone of Tamatea. Through this metaphor, we will explore how we better understand and foster our relationships with the taiao, acknowledging that the extraction of our natural resources is damaging our whenua and impacting the well-being of our people. Ruahine, our wise kuia, has seen and nurtured generations. She is a protector and guardian, providing shelter and stability to the whenua. A beacon of resilience and strength, Ruahine stands as a testament to the enduring power of our natural world. She embodies springs of knowledge, tributaries of wisdom, foundations of resilience and interconnectedness of the ecosystems that thrive around her. Ruahine teachings come from her kuia, Papatuanuku. She embodies the nurturing, life-giving qualities of Papatuanuku, grounding us and connecting us to our tuapapa. When we think of our rivers, we often focus on what flows away. But let's take a moment to consider what sustains these waters. The rivers and streams that flow from Ruahine are her mauri, sustaining the ecosystems and communities downstream, ensuring the purity and vitality of the waters that nourish the whenua. Just as our foundational values and knowledge support us in attaining ruahinetanga, we must recognise that the health of ruahine is directly tied to the health of these ecosystems. Just as our kuia draws strength from her life's journey that mimics the teachings of ruahine, embodying the learning, knowledge and wisdom attained through her lifespan. It's crucial to understand that ruahine's well-being hinges directly on the health of these ecosystems. Without there being a tikanga Māori approach, threats to our water bodies endanger this delicate balance that will reduce her ability to take care of her uri whakaheke. When we come up with this analogy, Uncle Brian said to me, "Bob, how old's your nan?" And I said, "Oh, she's 91. And he said, "He ruahine ia." And when we think about ruahine, what does it take to attain ruahinetanga? As the yānanga started getting deeper, we started delving a bit deeper, and we spoke about the rua, the depth of knowledge, experience, and understanding. And from those different rua, it kind of formed ruahine and her tuākiri. And I think I might have gone too far, or I might have, oh, here we go. Okay, there was another slide with all the rua. Rua te tahito, rua te mahara, rua te wānanga, rua te pūpuke, rua te hihiri. And so I couldn't talk about all these because I've only had 20 minutes, so I had to pick 4, and it was a bit of rock, paper, scissors with all these rua. And I decided to pick 4. Rua te hora. When we think about rua te hora, the various peaks scattered across the ruahine, they form, from them emerge the manga, yeah? The wai, the manga, the mātāpuna. And each of these manga embodies unique knowledge systems disseminated through our region. For instance, each stream possesses distinctive attributes through this composition, and these knowledge systems interweave, forming the tuki metaphorically, and this speaks of kotahitanga. And we commonly use kotahitanga, but what we're seeing is that we don't recognise the diverse perspective and expertise of others. And how do we actually bring those pukenga together to have critical conversations, to come to a point where we can move forward collectively? Bit of a dance here, I can't. Here we go. Rua te pukenga. When we think about rua te pukenga, it's all the different pukenga that sits within our rohe. And it comes back to the kōrero that Uncle was talking about. Tikanga and ohanga equals oranga. And that kind of resonated because pukenga, if we use it strategically, it's the gathering of skill set. And when we think about ruahine, her pukenga is the resilience and adaptability, stability and grounding, perspective and vision, balance and harmony, community and collaboration, innovation and creativity, leadership and guidance. And it's pivotal that it allows the exchange of wisdom when we collaborate, the preservation of our cultural narratives, and the application of sustainable innovation needed to address our contemporary challenges. I haven't heard a bell yet, so I'm doing all right. Rua te wānanga. building capability and strengthening environmental awareness, attaining of wisdom and knowledge, learning from our ecosystems, capacity and capability building. And these are the aspirations that we have back home in Tamatea. And sometimes all it takes is just having a yānanga with a kazi, and he's down with the taiao, and it's like, kazi, okay, we're going to go and have a wānanga on the mākāroro, and you've got to bring a kazi from one hapu, and I've got to bring a kazi from one hapu. Because all these boards just ain't cutting the mustard. And so we have to start being practical and applying ourselves a tinana. Rua te hihiri. This is where we start applying the application of knowledge in a tangible form. We can talk about taiao at the table. We can talk about decision making, but really sometimes those decisions really don't benefit us. And when we think about rua te hihiri, that energy and vitality, tēnei te tirahau, tēnei hara mai nei. We think about our mana motuhake. For us, mana motuhake for Tamatea is our ahika. We can't afford to let people come in and make decisions on behalf of us. We can't afford people to think they know better than us. And so when we think about strategic collaboration, we need to make sure that it's tika and it's pono. That they're not just writings as part of a strategy that sits on a paper that does not breathe and live. For Tamatea, as ahika, as kaitiaki, our role is to protect and sustain Ruahine and all that she supports and nurtures. She is not property. While we celebrate business and development, we must also recognize the limits of what we can take from her. The collective voice of ahika says, kāre whakai. We do not agree to the further depletion of her resources. Each of these phases represents a layer of understanding, experience, and dignity that our Ruahine maunga embodies. We as the ahika are the caretakers of this legacy, speaking on behalf of our kuia who cannot speak for herself. We are her voice, advocating for her healing and protection. Like our atua who are given their respective environmental domains to perpetuate, we as Tamatea are given the role of kaitiaki. We have gone through the stages of assimilation, and we cannot afford to assimilate ourselves once again using Pākehā systems that compromise our whakapono. Whakapono to our obligations to kaitiakitanga. Whakapono to push back on government decision making. Whakapono to toitu te tiriti. Whakapono to mokopuna decisions. Whakapono to sit at the core of the decision making tables and not be left aside as an afterthought that speaks equity. Nō reire te whānau, tēnei te mihi atu ki a koutou e pupuri nei i te kaupapa. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.